I'm still in the middle of reading Happiness Falls by Angie Kim, and so far I found it engaging. Angie Kim is, I would say, is doing a good job in holding me spellbound with the characters that she has developed in this story. Happiness Falls follows the story of Maya, her brothers Eugene and John, and her parents, or should I say one of her parents. So far, one of her parents, her dad in particular, is gone missing, and the circumstances around his disappearance actually bring about different sides of stories around this main character, Maya. I would say the most interesting part, or the most interesting fact about Maya, is that she's hyperlexia. Before I started reading Happiness Falls, I hadn't heard of hyperlexia. I'd heard of dyslexia. I've heard of Asperger's syndrome, but I hadn't heard of hyperlexia. And as I found out, it's somewhere on the spectrum, on the autistic spectrum, or is mostly characterized by by precocious tendencies as seen in children, where the child begins to read at a very young age, but still has communication or communications disorder. That's quite interesting to me, and you can begin to understand why I'm beginning to find, or I'm finding the book highly engaging. For Angie Kim to do a good job with this, she needs to be able to make her characters realistic or relatable and relevant, while driving the plot of the whole story. But so far in the book, I would say about 25% in so far. I've learned quite a few things, and of course, this, having gone this far and knowing this much about the book and its characters, or the characters I'm dealing with here, I'm beginning to set some expectations for the coming pages and chapters in the book. More particularly, so how does Angie Kim plan to achieve a fair, and I would not say equitable, but a fair representation of someone like Maya, a hyperlexic, or anyone with a disorder, or with I'm not sure that's even a politically correct way to describe such a person, but to maybe put it plainly, someone on that spectrum, looking to find out how Angie Kim tells a compelling story while making Maya as realistic as possible. So the word I was looking for was realistic, not just relatable, but realistic. In other words, if she's able to accurately develop a character that, as she claims, has hyperlexia. One thing I've noticed already so far in the book is how she may seem on point, in the sense that, considering Maya's age range, I'd say she's about approaching 17. Not a teenager, definitely, but someone born in the 2000s, early 2000s, very intelligent, and as we might expect, and also very chatty. So you can almost tell, if you've read Happiness Falls, you can tell that the sentences are always a little bit long. It would seem that Maya is rambling. The story is being told in first person, and you can tell by the length of the sentences that it would seem as if Maya is rambling but her intelligence shows through in the quality or in the logic of the sentences that she's making. Now, even to drive the point a little further or deeper, Maya provides or volunteers footnotes to her statements, and she says she's doing this to keep in the spirit of the thesis that or dissertation that she's working on. And I found that very fascinating. This realization came in very early parts of the story. Now, but I'd say beyond that, there is an emotional component to this story, and this is not supposed to be the actual review video, but you can tell how intriguing this story and the language that Angie Kim is deploying here to deliver the story to us, or to tell a compelling story. There's an emotional component to this story, as you can tell. So far, I've really been talking about the structure and more or less functional elements of the story itself, of Happiness Falls, but there is an emotional component to it, because we're dealing with the disappearance of a parent, and you want to know what is the effect of the disappearance of a parent in the lives of his children, in the life of his better half. It's not looking good so far. We're dealing, it's taking its toll already in Maya by the page that I'm on, or by the part of the book that I'm at right now. Maya is how do we say it? Not really going off on a tangent, not going off her hinges. It's more like we're seeing her respond in. She's upset. Let's put it that way. She's upset, and we're seeing it play out by the ways that she is so adamant about the what ifs. She right in her blind spot, she sees a shadow and she imagines, what if that was her dad also? And then we follow her on that trajectory of imagining that what if, and so much so that it begins to lift our own hopes, as well as hers, that her father has been found. That is moving to me, and I think this is going to be the roller coaster ride that Angie Kim is going to be taking us on through the book. And you can tell that I'm just holding myself back from actually doing a proper review of a book that I haven't even finished, but I'm finding really interesting. Well, I'm going to stop there, because I hope to do a deeper dive when the actual review video is released. Again, I didn't hit the targets for this weekend. My time was split between finishing a short story that I had been dared to finish this weekend and submit today at work, and I did. I submitted it with just 2 hours to spare for my deadline, and I'm really happy about that. It wasn't complete, it was a first draft. Not really impressed, but I would say I'm happy that I was able to turn it in. The reviewers, I gave it to two of my colleagues who volunteered to do a proper review of the story, and I hope that I'll be able to share the story with you once it's finished. It's gone through first draft, second draft, whatever. But as soon as it's finished, maybe even when it's published, I hope to be able to share a link of that story with you, so you can enjoy. So I'm looking forward to getting into finishing Happiness Falls, and again, that video may not be ready till we've had a proper conversation about it in my book club. So there might be a few videos even after this before you see that review. However, between now and then, I believe I should be well on the way to deliver a review for Tochi Onyebuchi. And I know, even by saying it, I believe just by saying it that I'm putting myself under pressure to finish that book before the Happiness Falls review. As much as possible, I'm trying to push the review for Happiness Falls close to the time when my book club actually has that conversation. I'd hate to spoil it for them, but I'm looking forward to reading Tochi Onyebuchi. It's unfortunately it's Rebel Sisters, and that's supposed to be a sequel to a previous book that Tochi had written, but I couldn't get my hands on. However, I've been promised that even by reading this, I should be able to get a good sense of Tochi's language and work. So this would be my introduction to his work, but yeah, again, looking forward to it. That said, in other news, I'm excited about the news that Tomi Adeyemi, although if you've read Children of Blood and Bone, yes, in that trilogy, the last book in that trilogy is coming out, which she entitles Children of Anger and Anguish. I'll provide the right name in the description, but that's coming out. Unfortunately, we have to wait and maybe pre-order because it's coming out in 2024. Nevertheless, I'm happy about that. It's the circle is closing, and we're looking forward to the bigger news to come in future. As I'm aware, or as we're aware, Tomi Adeyemi is also working, has her work already optioned for TV, I believe, and she is on the writing team. So you know, great things to expect from her there. In all, been a great week, and it's going to be even a better week in the days to come. So tell me what you think. If you've read Happiness Falls, let me know what you think. If you've read any of Angie Kim's works, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.